Well guys, I don't have my GoPro, but I figured I would make this little video right quick, show you my next little project. Well, I got several going on, but this is one you'll get to see. I got one going on that I can't video right now due to some things, but this is an airport. This is an airport here in my hometown, Albertville, Alabama, and this is a little hangar called, I can't remember who actually has this. But anyway, I believe those are what you call T-hangars. There's an airplane back there. So what we've got to do is we got to build a pad for a T-hanger here in that little area beyond this fence. Now, of course, this fence is going to come out, and we got to put a little pipe in right here and do this. Someone's calling me. Do this little T-hanger thing. Or the pad. We're going to do the pad between the taxiways. There's one here and one over there. This is not a very big airport here. I think they can land a commercial jet here if they have to. In an emergency situation. I don't know if that's ever happened, but anyway, that's kind of what we're looking at. There'll be 8 slabs, concrete slabs. We got to do the pad and do the gutter drains. Establish grade on the pad, and then come back and fill in between the slabs with topsoil to provide positive drainage. So this will be a fun little project. I just thought I would make a quick short video here showing you guys this before we start. GC, they're gonna cut this fence for me. I got to put in a double gate, and then I've got to put in, like, there's a storm inlet somewhere here. We got to put some wattle or some erosion control. And I don't know if you guys can see this or not. It's not really, sorry about that. It's not really coming up. Oh, there we go. Whoa, we don't want to do that. There's probably some erosion. Maybe right there. I can't remember. I have to look on the other page, and I can't look at it and turn my phone at the same time. I think it's right there. We got to put some inlet protection, which is just fabric and riprap. And we got to do a construction entrance right here between the drive and the taxiway. And you guys can see there's a 36-inch reinforced concrete pipe, and those little dotted lines right there you see are where the gutter drains have got to go. There's one on each side of the building. They'll be 10-inch. I think it's about 400 feet of 10-inch, and then we'll tie in between every hangar and the ends of the buildings with some downspouts, stub outs. So stub outs will be 6-inch. I think all the building pad will be on the little concrete slabs will be on 1% slope. Of course, we'll get that close as we can in our subgrade work, but it'll be the concrete finisher's job really just to make it sure it's 1%, which is probably easier to do with concrete than asphalt, so that's probably why they're doing it with concrete. As you can see, all the elevations there. If you guys don't know what those elevations mean, that's feet above sea level. So I don't know where our benchmark is here. I don't see one on this page, but they'll have me one out here when the surveyors come. That's what I'll shoot off of, is their benchmark. You guys never looked at civil plans like this. So like that 1026.55 is an elevation above sea level, and it looks like that pad has a little bit of a crown in it, and then of course it drops off, almost so about 4 inches, maybe, almost, from the corner of the pad to the corner of the building. Yeah, and that's all the little hangers. Looks like they're finished. The FFE means finished floor elevation of 1026.71. So anyway, I think what I got to do, the geo report said, I think there's 4 to 10 inches of topsoil with an average of 6 on there. So we got to strip all that off. We got to strip all the topsoil off, come back, and I reckon the material under there is good for structural. So we will, we got to, so that's right, I got to undercut that stuff a foot, put it back in 6-inch lifts and compact it, and then they'll proof roll it, do their little density tests and stick their little probe rods in there and all that, whatever they got to do, whatever they do. So just wanted to show you guys that. I'm excited about this job. I should be mobilizing here this week. So, yeah, looks like, seems like, sorry my truck's so nasty. Seems like a lot of my work lately has been going toward the commercial route. This is a different contractor. This is actually a friend of mine that builds metal buildings. So he's got a very good name in our area, and so I think he's going to use me on some of the projects that he can. I'm working on getting my subcontractor's license right now as we speak. Just got to get a few letters wrote by a few different contractors, and of course we want to do it all the right way. So any of these little projects I can pick up for the amount that I can do them, the amount that I'm legally able to do them for, that's what we do. So get this project hopefully wrapped up for him, and he can get me a letter, and then we can get that sent down to the licensing board, maybe secure our license, and be able to do some of these other commercial jobs, which, just to be honest with you guys, I'm not really interested in getting on these plan rooms and whatnot. I don't know if you guys, some guys don't know what that is. Around here, you know, they used to actually have a building in these cities that you went to. They called it a Dodge room, and that's where you went to find out what jobs were, commercial jobs were being let, you know. Like, say they're going to build a new school or something, you know, that'd be down there in that Dodge room. Now they do it online, I think. Construct Connect is a website, a source for that. On Dodge Data, I think, is one of them. But I'm not very interested in getting on those plan rooms, and unless I have to. And I'll tell you why. You guys are just gonna get to see a little bit of the airport here. The reason is because, like this job here, okay, for instance, I didn't bid this against a bunch of other people. The GC kind of knew what he had in mind for that job, and I mean, he's not dumb. He can do dirt work. In fact, he has his own stuff to do dirt work, just like everybody else right now. I think he's kind of short on help, and got a lot of work going on, and so I think he's going to transition out of doing the dirt work, kind of take some things off his plate. But you know, these jobs in these plan rooms, these GCs will play a game with you. And if you're looking to get into this commercial work, I've learned this, and I've learned it fast, just from having some friends in this business. I didn't have to learn it by experience. And I kind of got schooled on this a little bit before I got my butt burned. Let's just say they were going to, they had a school, and they were going to build a school, and they needed somebody to do the site package on the school. All right, so you go in this Dodge room, and or Data Fax or Construct Connect, and I got it in there, and you're bidding this. Okay, so you're bidding this job for this general contractor, whoever it may be. They are soliciting bids to no telling how many other contractors. Well, guess who's going to get that job? The cheapest one. Okay, the cheapest guy is going to get that job. Now, they can be the cheapest guy for a number of reasons. One, they might be a DBE, okay, and if that case, if they're a minority business, then they don't necessarily have to have the lowest bid. They can be awarded the bid just because they're a minority business, or they're just the cheapest one. I know of a job going on right now that a contractor bid extremely cheap, to the point where it's pretty well known he's going to really take a loss on this job. I mean, he'd be better off to sit at home. He may lose some things over it. I ain't going to say where it's at or what city it's in. It's not actually in the city I live in. It's a city over, but anyway, his bid was like substantially lower than the other guys. So low, in fact, that the GC asked them, from what I heard, if they wanted to look over their numbers, in which they replied no, that they had them. So I think, you know, they just misfigured something, maybe square yards, square feet, anyway. So a lot of GCs, what they'll do, they'll take their low number, they'll call that guy and they'll say, hey, look, you know, man, we really want to use you. I mean, you know, we've heard good things about you. We just didn't have that number figured in. You know, we had a little less figured in. You know, could you cut it by 10,000 or so many percent? And, you know, so eager Drew, you know, if I'm the guy that's on there and I get awarded, I'm like, you know what, they're telling me they'll use me again, you know, if I can just make that number lower, you know, if I can just. So I go in there and I take that chance of losing. I'm losing is what I'm doing. When all the time they're taking that whatever percentage that you cut and they're putting it in their pocket. You know, it's just how they do it. And there's guys that fall for that. You know, and there's companies that do that. So I'm not interested in competing with that, if you know what I mean. I'm interested in getting, you know, commercial work pays better. It honestly pays better. It is more stress. It is more red tape. It needs to pay better because there's a lot more involved. There's a lot more over red tape and aggravation. But if you're like me, you like working off plans. I love working off plans. I do exactly what those plans tell me to do. If they don't work, they get hit with a change order. And the contractors that I've worked for so far, which isn't many, but the ones that I do or have worked for so far are very good. I mean, and very understanding, and you know, they work with me very well. And that's another thing that you get into when you get on these plan rooms. You really don't know who you're working with sometimes, and they may be out to try to get you. So it's really hard. You have to kind of be careful. I guess I said all that to say you kind of have to be careful in the commercial world. Make sure you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. I've been kind of, I hadn't never personally worked in commercial myself, but I've been around some of it, working for the city, seeing how they do things and seeing how a lot of these bids are wrote up. And, you know, I'm not going to say I know everything because I don't. I've still got a whole lot to learn, but I guess if I had any advice, it was just be careful who you work for. The guy that I'm working for doing these dentist offices, I don't know if he watches YouTube or not. He's a great guy. I've done some research on him. I've done some studying around on his company. He's been in business 40 years. And he's got a good niche there building dentist offices. And so the last excavating contractor he had did every project for him for the past 26 years and went all over. And then that guy unfortunately got sick, and I think he passed away, retired and passed away. So I got the job you've seen on my videos, the first one I did for him where I did that parking lot and everything went to crap. That was my first job with this guy, and he really took care of me and really helped me out on that job and was really good to me. And his superintendent was very, very, very good to me, very understanding. I knew I was kind of overwhelmed with what was going on. It being my first commercial job on my own, and really worked with me and has continued to support my business. And you know, we've got several projects on the books for him. He doesn't, I don't know if he even asks, well, I don't know the past few jobs if he's even bid with anybody else. He just you know, he'll kind of, he's just really good to work with. and I've done some research, and all of his subs have been with him for a long time. So that gives you a good sense, a good feeling. You know, he's using the same people, same plumbers, same framers, same guys doing his electrical work. You know, all that. So, you know, that's encouraging. And so I've got that going on, and then another guy, like I said, my buddy up here that's doing some metal buildings. I hope to be able to do some work for him in the future. And so hopefully we can grow our business. Here's a for instance, when I say when I tell you getting stuff done cheap. Okay, so my buddy actually built a Dollar General. He bid on one, got it, and he said he would never ever do it again. He said there's a reason in there things are $1. He said there's a reason things are cheap in there. He said because everything, they get their stuff done cheap, their building done cheap, you know. So you know, you hear all these people saying, oh man, you know, they're doing all the site work for Dollar General, or they're doing all the this and they're doing all that. Well, that might be, but what are their profit margins, you know? When it looks good, sounds good, but what's your profit margin, you know? I'll be honest with you, the last job I done, no fault to the general contractor, but we didn't do too well on the site work on that last dentist office that we did, where we had so much trouble with our dirt. We didn't do too well on, and I don't mind saying that. I mean, we didn't just totally lose, but we could have done a lot better. Sorry, I got cut off. The rain held us up, but we didn't really, that wasn't the general contractor's fault, that was our fault. So there's a few little things we could have done on that job, I think, that might have helped us out. That we've learned on, and then, you know, education is expensive. One thing I will say, if you're doing commercial work, before you bid a job, you get a soil report. You get a geo report. A geo report is where they have come out, if they've got one, they'll come out and they'll do borings on the site, and they'll tell you exactly what the soil is, and you know, and they'll even make recommendations for what you need to do. I've got one right here. This is one of a job that we're actually going to bid, and they will tell you in these surface conditions. Okay, I mean, this tells you everything you need to know. This is very, 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 very important. Right here tells you what they recommend on the building pad, what they recommend on the parking areas. You know, right there it tells you that the existing fill material should be undercut and replaced with properly compacted structural fill. We recommend undercut depths extend to the stiff residual soils encountered at approximate depths of 6.5 feet BGS. So, prior to fill placement, the subgrade should be evaluated by the geotech, and if judged unstable, further remedial measures may be required. In order to facilitate structural fill placement, we recommend placing a minimum of 12 inches of surge stone, followed by the placement of 12 inches of 57s. The undercut should extend outside the perimeter of the building footprint a minimum of 10 feet. So that tells you right there. And if you do this, like they say, they are the ones that's liable, not you. So that's why it's important to do that and take pictures. So I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like a know-it-all, guys, but I know some guys maybe that's watching my channel would like to get into doing a little commercial work. Little things like this are very important. It's good to ask for them. Had I asked for that on the last job, instead of running off our assumptions, we might have been in a little better situation than we are. We went by the general contractor's word, in which he didn't lie. He just didn't. I guess I don't know if he assumed we had that or not. I assume his secretary sent it. It all worked out in the end, no matter what. But I learned that could have been. It could have been very bad. I mean, that's just experience. That's all I can say. It's just experience. So, doing commercial work, anytime you can get a soil report, a geo report, I'd get one. I would get one. So, Man, I gotta run in here, guys, and get some laundry detergent for my wife. Get it here because it's cheaper, and I don't like walking through Walmart. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit. And like I said, I'm not sitting here trying to act like I know everything, because I don't. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot I can learn, and there's a lot I want to learn. And I hope I never come off as prideful or arrogant or anything like that on anything I say. I just hope what I say maybe can help somebody along the way, because I assure you that I like hearing advice from people that are experienced, more experienced than me. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching, and comment and subscribe.